Right now I'm working on building up the tempo of the last movement of the Haydn Hoboken 52 in E-flat sonata. It comes to a point where you have to move forward after a lot of slow practicing. But I'm going to isolate another tricky passage and how I tried to get it to the point where I can play it really quickly. And this is a presto movement. Now what it has in this particular section that I'm going to work on here is on the second page it has some arpeggios that are divided between the hands, or broken chords. And always blocking suggests itself when you have chords that are broken. So you want to see what's going on here. Now in this second page you basically have here, he's playing with the B flat chord broken to its dominant, which would be an F, A, C, E flat chord. It goes back and forth when he starts here. So the first thing I do is I block what I see in the right hand is going to be unfurled later or unraveled later. So it's this, it's the 1-6-4. I do it, I don't want to attack the notes with a stiff wrist. I want to get a nice tone. What happens next is he goes across the thumb over to 2, which is going to then lead into the left hand. And what happens here is you have F and D as 1 and 2, 1 and 2. So that's a crossover. So you might as well practice the crossover like this. You can do that quietly if you want. And then he continues with the root and the third. That would have been the 5th and the 3rd. This is the root and the 3rd, 4-2, do mi. I always like to use solfeggio when I can, like this. Do, sol, mi, do, sol, mi, do, mi, ah, mi. Because it helps, when I sing the solfeggio, it helps me shape this line so I don't play this broken chord as just a bunch of robotic notes. And actually what suggests by singing it is that it kind of curves around on the highest note, so you get this ah, ah, that's what a singer would do, ah. So that's important to shaping it. And he goes to the dominant of that with the 7th, as I mentioned. And as far as fingering, we're going to use, as we did before, 1, 5, 4, 2, 1, 2, 4, 2. Only we're moving the thumb up to A, which would be the leading tone of B flat, and we create will be a 5-6-5 chord, which is the first inversion of a dominant. It becomes a 5-6-5, a dominant 7. And keep the 5-4 there because you have the 5-4 on F D. I keep it on F E flat. The thumb moves up to the A. So that's good to block. Now, interestingly, the thumb has a crossover to 2 here. Just like before it had F to D crossover. Now it moved up a 3rd and it has A to F crossover. So you want to practice the crossover. And then the bottom notes are Re, Fa. Now the first bottom notes were Do, Mi, and it went to Re, Fa. I like to use the solfeggio with Do, Mi, Re, Fa. And similarly, after you block out the dominant chord, 7th, you also can sing the solfeggio, which would be Ti, Sol, Fa, Re, Ti, Sol, Re, Fa. And again, that curve up to the F. So basically you have that gives you that nice shape that you want. Now he has twin measures after that of the same thing, except that the first 2 measures that I play are forte, and then he has an echo. So how do you get the forte? It's not from brute strength, because playing piano isn't about finger strength at all. It's about flexibility, elasticity. It's less about finger strength. And how do you get the louder sound is not through, poking your fingers hard in a hard manner, but it's by weighing in across your fingers like you're doing that push-up I talk about, like that. You feel deeper on these first 2 measures and then you feel lighter, but you're always buoyant in your arms. No matter what you do, you're never stiff. You're very buoyant. So if you want to play this with 2 measures of forte and 2 measures of piano, you're still doing your shaping, but you're deeper in the keys. Deeper in the keys, like this. You could see that we could have been more even. That was better. And so you can see I still shaped it the same way. Now in the next measures it's really much easier because he has what he has here in the right hand, and again he splits the melody between hands. This is what Haydn does. He has common tone thumbs, and he has intervals above the thumb, 5th, 6th, 7th octave, like sol la ti do, with do 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 here, do 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 do, right? So sol la ti do. That's still soft because he's picked up from the stayed soft. Sol la ti do. Now here's a crescendo. Now that doesn't mean you start loud, because most students, when they see crescendo, they get loud immediately. But it's a signal, if anything, to get a little lower, so you have a expansive space to create a significant and a convincing crescendo. And so you might want to dip a little bit, and then think. Now he has lots of notes, and then he has octaves here. Now he's gone into octaves. Diminished chord, and he peaks here, and you can hear the dominant in arpeggio. And actually crosses over with this hand. This is going to cross over the right with this. Come out of sol, then mi. This would be a tonic. Mi, fa, sol, la. Here's where he makes your crescendo. You can see that they're 6th, 5th, 4th, 3rd, and then half step down, and now he spills into the bottom of the arpeggio in octaves. It's really this. If you can see what you're doing, you're really doing octaves and thirds, but you're going through the dominant of B flat, starting with T, sol, re, T, sol. That's very easy to do because you're just doing this. You really want to listen for the top note. Sing it. And that's where you actually arrive at that peak of that whole passage. So it's not as hard as it looks. On page, it looks like so many 16th notes, but they're organized into these. Of course, you need to know your fingering with 3, 4, 5, 5, 5, 4, 3, 2, 5, 4, 3, 2, 3, 3, 3, 3, 3, then octaves. So if you do this a lot, you can go to an intermediate tempo maybe. Okay, then you can try to double that.